In a time of bitter famine, when hunger was a constant, gnawing pain in their bellies, two children, Hansel and Gretel, grew weaker with each passing day. Their home, once filled with warmth, turned cold. At night, they'd lie awake, hearing their stepmother's voice, no longer a comfort, but a sharp, cruel whisper in the dark, weaving a terrible plan with their father. She spoke of leaving them in the woods, a sacrifice to the starving times. One morning, their father led them deep into the forest. This was no ordinary woods. The trees were ancient and twisted, their branches like skeletal fingers reaching for the sky. The silence was heavy, unnatural, and the air thick with a sense of being watched. Hansel, his small heart pounding, secretly dropped shimmering white stones, a desperate trail to lead them back home. He could feel unseen eyes on his back, peering from behind the dark, imposing tree trunks. Miraculously, the stones guided them back under the moonlight, but their return was met not with joy, but with a flicker of disappointment in their parents' eyes. The reprieve was short-lived. Soon, they were led back into the forest. Deeper this time. The night was moonless, and Hansel had no stones, only a crust of bread, which the forest creatures quickly devoured. A thick, chilling fog rolled in, swirling around them as if it were alive, whispering their names and sealing their fate. Lost and terrified, they wandered for days. Just as all hope seemed to fade, a faint, unnatural light flickered through the trees. They stumbled into a clearing and saw a house made of gingerbread and sweets, glowing with an eerie warmth in the dead of night. It was a dream, a miracle. But as they drew closer, a sickly sweet smell mixed with something else, something rotten. A scent of decay hiding beneath the sugary facade. The door creaked open, and an old woman emerged, her smile stretched unnaturally wide, her eyes dark and unblinking. She welcomed them in, her kindness a thin veil over something monstrous. Hansel was quickly locked away in a rusty cage, to be fattened like a pig for slaughter. Gretel was forced into servitude, her days filled with endless chores while the witch hummed strange, ancient melodies that seemed to make the very walls vibrate. The witch would check Hansel's finger each day, her touch cold as ice. But Hansel, clever and desperate, would hold out a small bone instead, fooling her failing eyes. Slowly, Gretel pieced together the horrifying truth. This house was not a home. It was a tomb. Peeking through a loose floorboard, she saw them piles of small, brittle bones, the remains of children who had come before. The oven in the kitchen wasn't just for baking bread. It glowed with a malevolent, living heat, its open door like a gaping mouth, hungry and waiting. Fear gave way to a cold, hard resolve. She had to act. One morning, as the witch bent down to check the oven's fire, demanding Gretel see if it was hot enough, the moment came. With a surge of adrenaline, Gretel pushed the old woman with all her might. The witch tumbled into the roaring flames, letting out a scream that was terrifyingly long, echoing through the forest until it was cut short by the slam of the heavy iron door. As the witch burned, the house itself began to groan and crack. The candy walls melted like wax, and the structure burned from the inside out, as if its dark magic was finally undone. Freed from the cage, the children discovered the witch's hoard chests overflowing with jewels and gold. mixed among the tarnished belongings of her past victim. Clutching the treasure, they fled the dying forest, which now seemed to breathe a sigh of relief. When they finally found their way home, the house was silent. Their stepmother was gone, vanished without a trace. Their father, frail and pale, embraced them with trembling arms. He looked at them with haunted eyes, as if he had always known the shadow of the witch and the darkness that lived in the woods. They were home, but they were forever changed, carrying the weight of the forest and the fire within them.